everybody, and welcome back to episode 5 of the workshop. That word should be 5. I should get that clean. Welcome back to episode 5. I wish I could speak. This is Frankie Valentine.
This is Sarah Billiot.
And I'm Patrick Caleri.
And we are the workshop. Huzzah! So how was everyone's week?
It was fine.
Yeah, okay. Could be going back to New York this weekend for my cousin's reception. Because he converted to Islam, and so with the actual ceremony was like a very, very intimate and family, like immediate family. But so he and his wife are doing a wedding up there, and it's gonna be fun. Get to go back to my old hometown.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
I like that. Well, congratulations to them.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. He seems very happy. I'll be interested to talk to him about it just because, I mean, my whole family, that whole side of the family is Italian, and so they're Roman Catholic. So it's just, I mean, I have no problem with it, but I'm very curious. I did not imagine that for him, like that full version.
You got to keep your eyes on the old grannies in the corner with the purses clutched tight. I bet some pearls was clutched that day. Oh, God. He did what? Yeah, Grandma, sit down. Eat your cream of Weaver. Well, guys, last week we had a writing prompt, which was... That's the wrong page. I didn't write it down. Hey, look at me go.
I have it.
Oh, you have it? Oh, good.
Yeah.
One of us is on the damn ball today.
Last week's writing prompt was finish this sentence. This was not supposed to happen. ...
All right. Sarah, yours is posted first, so I'm chunking you under the bus first. You want to go?
Right,
sure. Mine's the shortest, too. So, short and sweet. All right. Actually, before I start, I circulated this around to a few people, and out of the 4 people that have read it, 2 understood it and 2 did not. So I would like to know what you guys think, because I didn't want to change it because I really liked it. So I want to know if I am just, if I need to kill my darlings, as Stephen King would say.
I got a knife.
This wasn't supposed to happen. Red wine stains my lips as I look around her empty room. Tightly tucked in her velvet sheets, she slept peacefully, brown curls framing her pale face. I sang her a lullaby, the back of my finger running down her cold cheek, a gesture she no longer flinched at. I kissed her goodnight and stepped away, and I watched as the director lowered the lid. And still, I hear her echo my song, 3 short verses for each year lived.
I get it.
I mean, I think I can't imagine I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it, so.
Yeah. It's very good. It's a toddler funeral, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No,
yeah. Or thinking back to a toddler funeral.
I was concerned. I was missing something, and I was going to say, like, you were both going to look at me like, "No, you moron." But no, yeah, that was really good. I liked that a lot.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
perfect.
All right, Patrick. Who the hell is Peter?
Peter, go Peter. So mine, I cheated a little bit. I sort of incorporated another piece of writing that I've been working on for my what?
I'm so sorry. I did that too. It's okay. It's okay to cheat. No.
That's okay. I did that last week.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, this is something that I had sort of incorporated into another piece of writing that I wanted to learn. My goal with this is I'm trying to sort of find the voice for an antagonist that's not necessarily a villain or evil. It's just a character that I'm trying to I'm trying to design a character that's very kind of working in the background, but I know how difficult that is to pull off well. Because I think we even talked about it here, where it's like it just doesn't feel earned a lot of the time. Where someone comes out and they're like, "Oh, I planned it this whole time."
Yeah.
So I'm essentially trying to figure out how to write someone smarter than me, and that's not that's not easy.
Okay. Okay.
I dig it.
All
Let's
right,
go.
here we go. This was not supposed to happen, you say. What a gentle sentiment, you sweetest of fools. Tell me, what in this world is supposed to be? That which our forebears deemed godly and good? That which history teaches us is proper? Above all things, you must understand this. History lies. Historians as well, though this may come as less of a surprise, as honesty in this instance is dependent upon two notoriously unreliable factors: history itself, which we have only just outed as fraudulent, and the willingness of men to act as objective students of knowledge rather than its stewards. All taken to mean, historians never stood a flaming chance. Yet even if one were to present this beggar's utopia in which mankind lays aside its magnificent propensity for cocking up, the issue remains moot, and that is because history lies. Not piteously, as a twilight beggar wheedling for a mealy supper, not maliciously, as a faithless lover falling into the soft down of a bed not his own. In truth, at least with regard to the dramatic, history could learn a pinch from the latter. But regrettably, I digress. History lies as a child, for no discernible reason outside that being its naive, untainted nature. While it's pretty to hold the past as a singular entity, perpetual as steel and stone, in doing so one fundamentally denies the essence of the subject. There has never been, nor will there ever be, a true history, as in passing out of time it can do no more than fade to fractal light, beautiful and imperfect as the prism through which it shines. And so the immutable fails. Stones fracture, steel rusts, history lies. Small wonder that not one of them, the seers, the guard, the ashhawks, sought even the slightest counsel in their own. Still, they will come to regret this failing. Or perhaps not. I suppose, in the end, it makes little difference.
Ooh.
I like that.
That was really good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Whenever
History lies.
whenever I read this, I read it on my lunch at work today. And he posted it at like I think it was almost 2 o'clock our time, so I take a
Yeah.
late lunch. But whenever I read it, and I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing for what you're going for, but because I know you, I was reading it and I could just picture you like sitting by a podium and like talking to like a class of people who are like going to learn about history, and you're like, no, all of it's lies.
It's all bullshit.
That's what I was
Still on the
picturing.
final.
No, that's perfect. It's what I'm writing. I want to play around with that idea a lot, where it's like, hey, what you think and what everyone thinks, that's not true, and kind of the impact of that. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited to write that character, but like I said, it's intimidating because I'm not that smart. So
I think you have a really good voice though.
thank you.
Oh,
I
yeah.
appreciate
Like
it.
it's not like one of those super condescending voices, I don't think. That
Good. That's
I think sometimes when you try to make a character too smart, it can come off like snooty. And I don't think that it's doing that.
No,
That's
it's
good.
very even. It's very even. It feels like he knows he's smart, but he also knows that the protagonist is just as smart.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of they've gone separate directions with what they're trying to get accomplished. Because like
Yeah.
a lot of times you hear villains and they talk down to the protagonist, but this just kind of seems more like you'll
An even
understand why
level.
everyone else is stupid. Yeah. You'll get why
Yeah.
everyone is stupid. Here's the truth. You deserve the truth. I'm still gonna fucking kill you, but you deserve the truth.
You should know
And
the truth before I kill you.
no, that's perfect, because that's really that is the point. It's that he doesn't love that all the people that he's kind of allied with are gonna get fucked over, but he's gonna do what he's gonna do, and it's just like it. Yeah, so good. I'm glad. I'm very glad that doesn't sound pretentious, and for lack of a better word, because I've struggled in the past with over describing, making it too flowery, and then sometimes just losing the thread because of that.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, mine is actually kind of an excerpt from a bit of a longer piece. I think it's 9 pages, 5 pages. But I kind of cut it off and changed it just a smidge so that it would fit in the short form. But there is a photograph from behind the scenes of Umbrella Academy Season 2. And 3 of the actors are just sitting on a sofa chilling. And in my head, they could very easily be Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon in a crisis. So I kind of ran with that idea. This wasn't supposed to happen. They sat on the sofa in silence, pondering the universe, trying to understand where they went wrong. Zeus fiddled with his thumbs, Poseidon chewed his nails, and Hades opened his mouth multiple times, but no words would come out. He managed to squeak, but Poseidon shot him a glance and shut that shit down quickly. The sun was going down quickly as the house creaked and swayed in the strong winds. Maybe we should get out of here, Hades finally managed, panicked by the growing wind sounds. And go where? Poseidon folded his arms across his chest and adjusted his body so he was facing his brother. Greece? There's not a home without one of Zeus's little bastards in it. We would never be welcome. Zeus shifted uncomfortably in his seat, his shirt stuck to his sweaty chest. I mean, not every house. Yeah, Hades agreed. He'd never touch an Uggo. Poseidon put his head in his hands and sighed. I can't believe I'm going to die here. A house made by idiots, controlled by idiots, and now being destroyed by idiots. He looked at his brothers, both dumbfounded by their surroundings. Okay, that's it. Come with me. Zeus watched his brother walk to the door. Where on earth could you be going? I didn't say Earth, idiot. Let's go. He disappeared through the door, followed closely by Hades, who was always up for an adventure. Zeus sighed heavily, heaved himself from the old stained sofa, and followed suit. And
interesting.
The original piece has them actually wondering where to go, and Hades is like, we can always hang out with Buddha. He's a pretty chill guy. And they're like, how about Jesus? And Hades is like, no, I owe him money. And they're like, well, how about Muhammad? He's like, no, I owe him money. He's like, who don't you owe money to? And he's like, Buddha. But they actually do wind up at Dionysus' house, who they keep calling Dion.
And I'm with that. I want to read it.
Big D.
Yeah, okay. I edited it a little bit. Kit, our fourth, who's never here, hi Kit, actually designated himself as my accountability buddy, and was like, I'm going to get in the shower. I want 100 words when I got back. And 5 pages popped out. And I tried to send back, okay, buddy, but I got auto-corrected. I was going to say, yes, buddy, but it came out, yes, daddy. Kit's like, don't give me that. So I doubled down, like, sorry, daddy. He's like, now I have to go shower you off of me. Sorry, daddy.
Take another shower.
Yeah.
I like that. I would say one of my favorite genres of a globalized world is colliding pantheons. So I love the whole boot. It's just such a fun concept. And characterizing them in ways you would not expect. So I think that's a really fun one.
I've got to do a little more research because I love Greek mythology. I just don't know enough about it to be proficient. So I've got to look into that because they are going to go see the Buddha. They are going to see Muhammad. They are going to go talk to Jesus. But I got to do some research.
Hey, if you ever have any questions, I have an unfortunate extensive knowledge of Greek and Norse mythology. So.
Oh, good. I'm gonna chunk Odin in there then. We all screwed now.
Next week, Next week on the workshop, we're only going to talk about Greek mythology.
We didn't get a third of the way through.
Sarah's going to see herself out because she doesn't know anything about it.
Oh, but so you clearly didn't read Percy Jackson.
just know, don't watch the Disney version. Like, I can forgive. I like that little meme. I can forgive Disney for what they did to Zeus, but making Hera a doting mother and wife is just diabolical.
That's not. I don't understand that.
Is she even Hercules' mom? Like,
no, and that's a huge plot. So aside point, no. Hera despises Hercules in real Greek mythology because he is not her child, because he is a child of Zeus and some other hussy. In the actual Greek mythology, there is technically a Megara who is married to Hercules, but the reason Hercules has to do his 13 labors is because Hera poisons him, and while he's poisoned and in her madness, he murders his wife and kids.
Ah, okay then.
I didn't know any of that.
Tell me the mouse dropped the ball without telling me the mouse dropped
it.
Right.
Yeah.
Apparently, Walt Disney didn't know that either.
Disney knew. He was just like, nah, we can't sell this.
I'd watch it.
I think at that point, though, you kind of got to give Walt a little bit of leeway because he was just a head in the freezer at that point.
That's true. I suppose that's fair.
Yeah, that's true.
They're gonna thaw him out and show him the live action Mulan and Hercules, and he's just gonna be like, "What is this shit? What have you done to my company?"
Honestly, it's almost impressive the rate at which it's accelerated now, the conversion from animation to live action. Like, Moana came out as a live action. What? It just came out as an animated movie 5 years ago.
Yeah.
God. The second one just dropped like a year ago, didn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Like, give us time to finish the first one before you chunk the live action one in our face.
Right.
See the credits before we see The Rock, you know.
I think it's just I'm personally offended by the How to Train Your Dragon live action remake. Like, you really think you're gonna beat?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
You think you're gonna beat the freaking brass on the original score? Like,
they didn't just reuse the old score? Because I mean,
I'm sure they did, but whatever. I mean, it's just not the same.
I haven't watched those, like any of those.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah, my mom wanted to go see the live action one. I was like, "Did you ever see the animated one?" She's like, "No." Like, oh well, okay, clean slate, I guess. She doesn't really like animated. Yeah, she doesn't really like animated things though, because like she has macular degeneration, which is the opposite of tunnel vision. For people who don't know, like tunnel vision, you can only see straight forward, nothing around. Macular degeneration, she has 20/20 peripheral vision, but the center is a black dot.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's nothing there. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's an old people's disease." She's like, "Well, I was born with it, so get over it." There's two kinds. It's stabilized in her 30s.
Yeah, I have 2 uncles and an aunt that have that. Is it Stargardt's disease that she has?
No.
Or is it?
No.
Okay, because that's what runs in my family.
Okay, we've only ever heard it called macular degeneration. It might have another name, because I had an aunt who had Rickenhausen. It was called Rickenhausen when she had it, and that is moles and stuff like everywhere, and every once in a while one would grow in and it would be cancerous, and she'd have to get it removed.
Okay.
So yeah, she had that, as well as I don't know. It wasn't Down syndrome, but it was. Her mind never grew beyond 12. Yeah, so like that on top of Rickenhausen's, she was special needs. She actually lived with my grandmother, who was her younger sister, and she did not want to listen because she was the older sister. She didn't have to do what Marlene told her to do.
I understand.
But she did, because when Marlene speaks, everybody listen. Yeah. But so next week our writing prompt. Go ahead and you guys little sneak peek for next week. If you could pick any generation to grow up in, which one would you pick? Write about the morning of your first day of high school. And I don't mean like you don't have to go with the 60s, the 70s, the 40s, the 1800s. You can go to the future. You can go to Mars. I don't know. Was there a generation on Mars? Wasn't it Matt Damon? I don't know. Like, me and Matt Damon woke up at 8 a.m. to look at the dirt. I don't know. I never saw the movie.
My favorite genre in filmmaking is Matt Damon Lost in Space.
I don't know. I like Matt Damon shrunk down to the size of a peanut. That one was pretty good.
Matt Damon forgetting who he is and just going on a murder spree for 2 hours is also fun sometimes.
I didn't see that genre.
Oh, that's great.
I did like him laughing at Robin Williams' improv. That was a good genre.
That was a good genre.
Yeah. Academy Award genre. That's what that was. So, last week we kind of touched on world building, and we all kind of built our own worlds in the writing prompts. We got the supervillain. We got the very small world, but very relatable world for a lot of people from Sarah. And we got whatever the fuck it was I did.
The jury's still out on what your world's gonna be.
At the moment, it's crumbling, so...
I'm just moving to a new one.
Like, just walk into Buddha's place. Booty baby, how you doing? He's like, please leave. I saw what you did to Athens. Get the fuck out.
I do owe Buddha money, but he's nice enough that he never reminds me. So
yeah.
He's a pushover, kind of.
Yeah. Muhammad, though. Muhammad's gonna get his ass.
Oh. Yeah, no, the story that I base mine out of is the first high fantasy, in the sense that I'm building the world from scratch and trying to think it out a little bit more thoroughly than some previous attempts of mine. Because I've done urban fantasy, I've done stuff where it's got fantasy elements, but it's set in the real world. And that, to me, I definitely couldn't have written my first manuscript if it was a full fantasy novel, because I needed the reality to root myself in somewhat of like a setting that I just knew what it looked like. I could look at the street and see what it looks like. But so with this one, it's definitely a lot more starting from scratch, trying to figure out, what works and what doesn't, I guess. And figuring out culture, the differences in names, like we touched on a little bit last time. It's very daunting, because you want to feel like Tolkien, but there weren't too many Tolkiens. There's only one.
Yeah.
And he wrote a lot.
Yeah.
I think...
Go ahead.
No, you're good.
I was going to say, last week we had talked a little bit about how, like, I had said that I focus more on like realism, and I find it difficult to write a story based in a fantasy world, because I'm having to like create these just things that don't exist, whereas in realism, I can look out my window and describe what I'm seeing, and then my characters can see that. And it's something I need to get better at. But Patrick had said something last week that, I don't know, I thought about a lot this past week, was just that whenever you're writing anything, everything is based in some type of reality. And so whenever I was writing this like super short prompt from last week, that's kind of what I was thinking about. Not that anything is wrong with Liam, because nothing is wrong with Liam.
I was gonna say that poor boy.
Yeah, I was.
I'm gonna question the worry beads since you said it.
I don't know. I was at work, and sometimes you just get sad sometimes, and I was sad, and I was thinking about what would happen if something happened to Liam, and then that thing popped out, and I was just thinking about how this isn't even happening at all. Liam doesn't even have a nursery. He sleeps with us. So it's not like I'm looking at his nursery.
So the setting's a lie.
Yeah, it's all a lie. But it was so easy to write because it was like stemmed from my love for Liam and how devastating it must be to lose a child. And it was such a short piece that I also didn't have to, build an entire world out of it.
Yeah. And as someone who has seen that kind of thing, not my personal child, but both of my godsons passed away, I can guarantee it's it's very difficult, even if it's not your child. Like watching people go through that.
Yeah.
One of my cousins, his first daughter passed away. They buried her on Father's Day. Like we couldn't
Oh,
have waited
God.
a day. His very
Yes.
first Father's Day, he's got to put his baby in the ground. Like this is
Oh, God.
bullshit. Yeah, yeah. So like any small glimpse into that world, whether you've personally gone through it, watched it, or have a fear of it. Okay, we'll stop now. Sorry.
Yeah.
No,
It got too dark, too quick.
Yeah. So anyway, Buddha. No.
Anyway, Zen. No, something that I sometimes do. Actually, I did this a lot when I was writing my first big piece. Was I'll get stuck in just my description of things because you do hit a wall sometimes. You're like, okay, I've talked about how this person's feeling for the last 15 pages. I don't know where to go or where to jump off from there. I did something where I just had a sticky note and I wrote the 5 senses on it. And as weird as it sounds, it helped me to be able to look at it, because sometimes if I got too stuck in an area where I'm describing something way too visually, or I'm describing the sound of things too much and there's not enough variety, I could just reference that as a sort of way to break up the monotony in my mind. Like, oh yeah, there are all these other ways I can describe it. I mean, you can't describe everything by taste. You can try, but it's not going to work. But I think that was just a really easy cheat that I had that helped to diversify and helped, I think, made it just a little bit more engaging of reading.
So, piggybacking off of that, how do you prevent from overusing the 5 senses whenever you're trying to describe a world?
It's not perfect, and it blends a lot better on subsequent edits. But what I'll usually do is I try to strike a balance between paragraph. Like if I have a descriptive paragraph, I will try to make the next one either more dialogue heavy, more interaction heavy. I like to sort of stagger, and it doesn't work all the. Sometimes you need to have a dump of description because you just need to set things up. But I found that just helps me to not go down one path too much. If I can just sort of have that rough balance in mind, one description, one action, sort of like that. And then when I go back on further edits, it's a lot easier to make it seem more natural, or I can see, oh, okay, that didn't exactly work.
Yeah.
That's where the little phrase from earlier you used comes in, killing your darlings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I've written several on like, oh my god, this is genius, and I go back and read them like, who the fuck wrote that? Oh, it was me. God, delete. Because you can overdo it. You really can.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I've had to read several things for classes, and I'm like, Aren't y'all supposed to be teaching me how to not to do this? Is this really like, all right, we smelled every flower in the valley now. Let's get back to that fight. Trees are lovely this time of year. No one gives a shit.
Yeah, I think we had talked about that novel writing class that we took. I think you and I took it together, Frankie.
Yeah.
But I had written a story about a girl who was like self-medicating for her OCD, and that's one of those stories. And I read it back, and oh my god, no, that was not good.
Anything from before the second sophomore semester doesn't count as our writing. That's old us. That's
No,
awful.
it was
I
senior
recognize that
year for
person.
me. It was not.
Oh no.
It wasn't like all of my previous work. You can tell that there's growth. You can tell that, up until that point, I was still learning. And then I thought that this was just banging and it was amazing. And it's not like the worst thing I've ever written, but it's way too detailed. And I thought that I had to do that because she's OCD. She would notice these things. And then I studied more in psychology and realized that's not what OCD is. That's incorrect. And I struggled really hard with postpartum OCD, which I didn't even know was a thing, but it is. And since going through that, I realized like this is probably really offensive to people with OCD who would read something like that and say, I would never count those things. Like that doesn't fucking matter. What matters is what's going on in my head. Like, so yeah, I think it also, like, the characters that you have definitely need to work with the setting and the world, but you also have to make sure you have the characters correct, if you're gonna do that.
I think it all boils down to trusting. It's a tightrope walk between trusting your audience, but also remembering that the bigger the audience, the smaller the IQ. Because,
Yeah.
like, I explain it to my students like this: details are important. Okay, if I say there's a dog outside, what do you think of? Some of the kids say pugs, some say pit bulls, some say German shepherds. Say, okay, there's a large shaggy dog outside. What do you see now? And they narrow it down like, oh, it's a mutt. It's a street dog or whatever. It's like, okay, he's got blood on his lips. Oh, that's a pit bull, and he's mad, and he's covered in mud. Okay, the more detail you put in, I say, okay, now he's got a flea here, a flea here, a flea here, a flea here, and they're like, that's too much. I say, okay, don't give me too much. Grab a dog. I don't care about the fleas. So it's a tightrope walk between what's needed and what's not, you know. And
Yeah.
I often find myself on the wrong side of that via not enough detail, because I'll write something and in my head I see it perfectly, and I'll send it to Kit, and Kit will shoot back, "Where the fuck am I? I don't know."
It's like, oh, it's important.
Yeah. I'm like, look, I didn't describe the fleas, okay? Be nice to me.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
What Sarah was saying is really interesting too, because it's the perennial problem where you need to write what you know. I mean, you shouldn't. Sarah, I think we've all done something in the same way that you have, where you thought you were writing something was good and meaning, and it was good intentioned, but then you do a little bit of research and you're like, oh, this was really patronizing, and I'm really glad that no one in this community read this. But you started with good intentions. I think though, so you have to write what you know, but also that's somewhat of a trap, because you shouldn't be afraid to try new things or experiment. I think it's all about, honestly, the biggest thing for that is having a reading partner or someone that you can trust to objectively be like, hey, yo, this ain't it. Like, this is wildly inappropriate. But I mean, I think that's yeah. You should write what you know, but also don't be afraid to try to research more, and so to have an informed opinion and to kind of foray into different things as well.
Yeah.
It's I think that would fall under what I call the Hollywood effect, because like too many times I've read pieces other people have written about characters with Tourette's, and they're all like, "Yeah, I fuck want to go to the fuck." It's just constant swearing, but Tourette's is a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of have Tourette's, and I'm like, we don't all do that, you know. Mine is the nervous thing that I'll do that every once in a while, and I do it more when I'm stressed. And my
Yeah.
students will be like, "All right, Miss Franks, what's wrong with you this week?" I'm like, "No, nothing. It's fine." So like, it's not always just screaming things, you know.
Yeah.
It's not always body twitches. It's everything is different. All diseases have severities, and but Hollywood would have you believe that everyone with Tourette's swears uncontrollably. Everyone with OCD has to turn the lights on 15 times. Everyone everyone with diabetes sees a cookie and passes out. Like that's not how any of that works.
Yeah.
It's so yeah, write
Yeah.
what you know, but just don't make what you know be controlled by MGM.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
where
good
are you
point.
where are you getting your perception of it from? I guess is a
Right.
good question to
Yeah.
ask.
Right.
Google is not a doctor, but it's a tool. Like, go to Google, ask it,
Yeah.
what does this look
And
like? What does that look like?
what's crazy is like the character that I had based this like OCD story in, she had like organizational OCD, which is a thing. People have
Mm-hmm.
that and they do like to count, and they like to make sure things are in the right spot. They like to organize things by color, and there's so much more to it, obviously.
Yeah.
But I was focusing on that, and there's like so many other like sub genres of OCD that I wasn't even thinking of. And so
I
whenever
got
I
hair
struggled with
Tourette's. Ooh.
whenever I was struggling with OCD postpartum and I had no idea what was going on, I was terrified. I was having so many like intrusive thoughts. And whenever my doctor finally diagnosed me with OCD, I was like, what? That's not
Yeah.
what that is. That's a
No.
lie. And she's like,
Yeah.
no, you've got it bad, girl.
Doctor, I've written about this. I think I know.
I am a doctor, actually.
Excuse me. I watched that documentary about kids with Tourette's. I know what's happening here.
And that is not it.
Yeah. I read the
Yeah.
back flap of a psychology magazine, sir. Do not tell me what I do and do not have with your PhD, MD.
With your 8 years of schooling compared to my 4 in creative writing.
Yeah. He's like, OCD. That's not very creative of you, Professor Dr. Man. Professor.
You may have gone to 8 years of medical school, but I read real good.
Yeah.
So, uh,
We brought the drums back.
all right.
Hey, leave me alone. I got Tourette's.
All right. All right.
I don't know why it took so long. I'll click it and there's like a 3-second delay. Like, are you sure? I was like, yes, just play the fucking drums.
Confirm.
Zencaster. Yeah. Thanks, Zencaster. But
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people fall into that. Well, I saw a movie about this one time. Okay,
Oh, I was thinking that the hacking. That's one of the biggest. Like Hollywood hackers are so funny, and I get it because
yeah,
I mean we would not understand. Like I feel like now the general population's understanding of those terms has increased, but like
yeah.
early 2000s, yeah, visually the only way you could really show it and make it interesting was to have someone just be like typing furiously as Matrix code appears.
Yeah.
The green word overlay on top of Matthew Lillard and Angelina Jolie. I'm in.
There is a scene in an episode of NCIS where two people are on the same keyboard because apparently that helps them hack faster. And in order to prevent the hack, the main character unplugs the computer monitor, and somebody in the comments section of YouTube, everyone's like, "Bro, you just gave away your entire like security. Now you just lost."
There, now we can't see what they're doing. They didn't do it. We have to do cybersecurity training over the summer, and I did mine, and it's the same little interactive thing every year, and like it gives you good information. Like if you get an email from one of those email addresses, it's just like a string of characters at wearescammers.org or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe don't open that one. Don't click any sketchy links, things like that. But it kind of personifies each kind of hacker, and they always have like these cool hacker names like Memento, and like the A is a 4. And like I take all of your memories and use them against you. It's like, so does Great Aunt Agnes at Christmas. I don't give a shit.
I've had Facebook for 15 years. That's just what people do.
Literally get a notification every day to go check out the shit I did 8 years ago. Oh, there's my dead cat. And
As somebody that stays awake at night remembering all the cringy things I did as a kid and doesn't have social media, I'm convinced that social media is a psyop to keep everyone like mentally and emotionally stunted because we cannot move on.
yeah,
It's
God.
true.
And there's not a comment that they can leave on my Facebook. I haven't already whispered 6 inches from the mirror, okay? I don't need it's like, this is cringy as fuck. So's everything else. Deal with it. This episode is rated R because I'm talking like a pirate. Sorry, guys.
You'll have to like stitch that in at the very beginning.
Yeah.
This is the workshop. This episode is rated R.
This episode is rated R for piracy. Do you want to learn to curse like a sailor? Here's your episode, baby. You know what? We're halfway into season 1. It's fine. It's fine.
So all right, pirates. That made me think. How do you guys go about? Yeah, how do you guys go about trying to write something in a completely different dialect, for lack of a better word? Like I just stay away from it. I stay the hell away from it because I'm just like I won't get it right, and it will look so obvious. And so the reason I say that is because, like, say hypothetically you're writing a 18th century novel set in the Caribbean, I would be terrified to even start there because I'm just like I have no idea how to make it sound natural in that parlance, in that tone. So I guess I don't know. I don't know if you guys have any opinions or thoughts.
I personally start out strong, and then about paragraph 4 or 5, I give up and say, "Fuck it." They talk like I do now.
That's funny.
I do spell out y'all a lot, though.
You said what?
I do spell out y'all a lot, which is why apostrophe ALL, get it right, children.
Yeah, I agree. I have never written anything like that's that crazy. Like I will stay away from 18th century anything, because I don't know anything about history and I'm going to get it wrong, and B, I don't want to touch that dialogue.
Yeah.
I have written characters like from New York and from California and from like the South, and whenever I mean I'm from the South, so it's a lot easier for me to, get into that dialect, but whenever I'm doing that, whenever I think about the dialogue, I think about it in that like southern accent. So if I'm writing a character that's from down the bayou, and I don't know if you've ever heard Victor's Family Talk, but you can't understand them. I still need a translator for his grandfather, and we've been together for like 13 years.
Oh gosh.
So I like if I'm trying to write a character like that, I hear it in my voice. I'll like listen to clips of it, put on what is it called? Swamp People. Like I'm just like, you know,
Don't go with those guys.
no, I
You
know.
know he doesn't actually talk like that, right?
I
The
know.
My dad used to work with him offshore. He talks like we do. That's all put on for TLC, the
Yeah.
lying channel.
Yeah. No, I'm aware. I'm
I
aware.
just really
They
pissed
make
the
us all look
sashimi bowl really
bad.
fast though. Yeah.
But then you go down to Dulac and you hear people talk and you're like, oh, they do talk like
All
that.
right, fam.
Like,
But
we got you.
like with New York, I'll like go on Reddit forums and I'll see like, what do people in New York say and what are these things that people eat in New York because there's different foods and, they call things different names and all of that stuff. I'm
Yeah.
can't think today apparently because I'm saying a bunch of bullshit and it's not working in my head. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Take it till you make it. We'll edit this out. It's fine.
You're good. No, that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's
it
I
does.
just
Yeah.
took my happy medicine, so I think that's what's going on
nice.
right
Oh.
Well, I mean, I
Yeah.
think what you're just describing is getting as close to immersion therapy as you can with the resources you
Yeah.
have. And I think you're right because, like, so I don't know if you guys have seen this show, but just as an example of one that does dialect hilariously, there's a show on Netflix called Dairy Girls, and
Yes.
Kayla and I watched that through, and I was just like, this is hilarious. This is really good.
Yeah.
But like for Kaylin was talking about how after watching that show, she's like, yeah, for 3 weeks the internal monologue in my head just sounded very Irish.
when it comes to writing things like a script, I will put that solely on the actor that I want to play that character. So like if it's an Irish character, I'll write the lines like just plain English what it is, but in the footnotes or in the oh god, what's that called? The stage directions will say they have an Irish accent, they have a southern drawl, they have this. Because you can get away with that. Because if it sucks, it's the actor's fault. It's not mine. I wrote some good shit. That's all on it.
I wrote it right here just because you can't act.
Don't come crying to me when you don't get a fucking Emmy. Me and my golden statue gonna be at my house.
I don't understand why no one wants to work with me anymore.
Yeah.
Guess I'll call MGM back. Fuck. No. But if it's like a short story or something, I'll attempt to write in a dialect. Because like speaking Irish and British and Spanish, Canadian, American, we all have these little sayings. Or they say words differently how we say them. Like an example, we'll say sure or yeah. Someone from Europe would say I, like I. What are you that kind of thing? Just can't stop saying I now, but I'll try and put that in there, but I won't give that character anything to say. They'll just be brooding in the corner. Because much like writing a sex scene, writing other accents is a little embarrassing.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah, like he lilted. What? I don't know. That's what they say they do. I don't know. I'm not from there. I mean, I am, but I'm not.
A day in my life, but you know.
Yeah. I've been listening to so many audiobooks that I don't know if it's because the narrators and the performers are so good at their jobs or if it's because the author is doing so good at writing the book because I'm not like actually reading the book unless I really really think the writing's good, then I'll buy it.
Yeah.
But I'm not looking at the words, so I can't tell if it's the author or the narrators, but a lot of them, they'll put on these accents while they're, you know, talking in different characters so you can tell who's talking. And I find myself, whenever I'm writing different characters, trying to hear their voice in my head, whether I know what they sound like yet or not. And
Yeah.
I think it's because I'm listening to audiobooks so much, but it helps. So
Well, yeah, I mean, you hear the natural sounding dialogue. You can hear, the more inflection, it's. I think it's a little of both. The author can really do well, but then it is elevated by the people that are doing the voice acting, and I think that's a good. I'm an audio person as well, so I think that helps. Even like listening to music sometimes with someone that has an accent, it's interesting because music is something that a lot of people just mimic unconsciously. And so you can sort of fall into the rhythm of how these things sound without thinking about it too much.
yeah.
So those are always fun.
Now I have a question because I've been told that my world building, and I don't even know if I would call it world building because it's like sometimes just reality. But anyway, um, I've been told that my worlds are a little bit too relatable. And I think again it's because I write so much realism and so I try to make it super relatable, but sometimes it can come off as, I don't know if boring is the right word, but I think people read to escape a lot of the time. And whenever you're put back into a world that's too much like your own, you're not really escaping. So I would like to know your thoughts on that.
Well, it kind of goes back to the write what you know thing. Um, we know our surroundings. I know almost every inch of this place. I mean, don't ask me where anything is in the kitchen. I don't cook, but if I'm gonna write about a bedroom, it's gonna have black sheets and a big shelf covered in crap I want to get rid of, and really loud birds. Be quiet, guys. But it's not every part of a world that you build is going to be exciting. Like I have the novel that I've been working on about the princess and the king and all that fun stuff. And sometimes they're just in a hallway. Everyone has the hallway. We've all been in the hallway. It's empty. There's a couple of old dead guys up on the wall, but that's about it. And I mean,
Sometimes a hallway is just a hallway.
yeah. There's no reason the door is blue. Quit asking high. This is to all the other high school teachers out there. Stop asking children why the door is blue. We don't know why the door is blue, and we're the ones who painted the damn thing. Just okay. But like, it's not all going to be an escape because you have to recognize where you are. If it's too much of an escape, if it's too fantastical, you're not gonna want to go there. You're not gonna want to. It's no longer an escape. It's a delusion.
Or you just wrote
And
Ulysses.
yeah. Okay. I got that reference. Like,
No, I think, yeah, like Frankie was saying, you have to write what you know. There's always going to be parts that are more boring than others or more relatable than others. I think in your situation, though, I mean, I've only really written anything of one thing of length from you, so I can't really compare it to other, long pieces. But I don't necessarily see that with your writing, not in a bad way. It is relatable, but what I like about what you do, and I think a strength of your writing, is that the relatable is there, but you still are aware that underneath the surface there is still a deeper story being told, and it's kind of the discovery of that makes what you're writing now interesting. Because if it started out completely, like Frank was saying, completely everything is wrong and life's crumbling for everyone and yada yada yada, it's just that's not the story you're necessarily telling. But I think the way you've layered the reality with not even a departure from reality, but like with some real life disappointments, real life, things that um, I don't. I think for it to be boring, it has to be devoid of any conflict, and I don't think your work, from what I've seen, is devoid of any conflict. It has those friction points, and I think that that's part of what makes it fun. It's seeing how reality can be good, can also turn on its head.
Mm.
To give you a I guess a metaphor, like all the rides at Disney are fantastic. You still have to wait in the line. Okay?
That is a good metaphor. That's a really good
Okay.
metaphor.
Thank you. Thank you. If you ever need to turn a phrase, just let me know. I got you.
Okay.
I can bullshit with the best of them, okay? But yeah, just I don't think unless it's like on a spaceship or somewhere way out, far away from wherever you are. If you're, what am I trying to say? You kind of have to have the mundane to make the spectacular spectacular. Because if everything is spectacular, then it's mundane.
If everyone's super, then no one is. Sorry.
That's
Thank you.
true.
Yes, yes, yes. So it's not about not. You don't want to not include something that's real because you kind of need the real for your audience to cling on to. If you
Yeah.
don't have that, if they can't see a place they recognize, they can't see a character they recognize, at least a piece of themselves in some way in your writing, then it's kind of hard to connect to that writing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm That's my thought process too, like make my thought process is make the characters relatable so that way they can fit into the world that you're building around them. But I think because I stray away from fantasy and there's so many like what's the genre called? Romantasy
Yeah.
stories.
I would.
And
I'm starting to classify them more as romantiroticism.
yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole different topic that I could talk about for hours. But I think I don't know. There's so many authors that do so well at writing fantasy and historical pieces, and maybe it's because I haven't worked on those that I just don't do well in writing fantasy pieces, or maybe my imagination's not wide enough.
I don't.
I don't know.
I think. I don't know. I don't think you should feel any need or feel pressured to write in those genres. And I think part of the issue you're running into is not necessarily a you problem. I think it's just that certain people prefer other genres, and you're gonna get readers
Yeah.
who read your stuff that are like, "Oh, I wish this was fantasy." It's like, okay, but it's not. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Like I like reading your stuff because it's different from what I read mostly. I think that's just also something you've got to be on the lookout for. Is that you're
Mm.
right? Romantasy and fantasy like that is on the rise right now. So a lot of people are sort of primed to want that from their stories. But that doesn't have to be the story you're telling. And if it's not, it's better for it, in my opinion.
I actually prefer writing slice of life kind of pieces,
Hmm.
like everyday mini tragedy things, stuff like that. Because like, there's not a lot to build. I don't have to come up with a whole new religion and a whole new language and a whole new
Yeah.
race of people. I can just say the door was blue. Like that's like,
For no other reason than that is the color I
yeah,
picked.
Yeah, and I agree with Patrick. Like, if they don't like where the story is set, that's a them problem. That's
Why
not a
do you
you
buy this
problem.
book?
Like, I didn't like the characters or the plot or the location or nothing. Like, then go listen to some music or something. Get the hell out of here. It's not for you. Pick up a different book. Grab a magazine. Maybe you like skincare routines. I don't know.
I hated this best-selling novel. Why? I really just don't like reading.
Yeah. 1 star. This book was full of words and characters. If I could give it no stars, I would.
That's like those people that give like 1 star on recipes that they try, but they change the whole recipe.
Yes!
Instead of using beef, we used lamb liver, and it was horrible. 1 star.
I substituted the almonds. I substituted the almonds for peanuts, but I'm allergic to peanuts.
I'm in the hospital. 1 star.
Oh.
Yeah.
Speaking of being in that vein, you know the little guy that's all over TikTok who makes the he's like, sometimes you have to eat 1 whole cucumber in 1 sitting, and this is how
Yes.
you do it. He uses the mandolin thing.
Yes.
Oh, a woman bought a mandolin and was using it.
Oh no!
And sliced off half her damn pinky finger and to sue him because she did it how he did it, but without the guard. I don't know. That happened a while ago, so I don't know like if it got thrown out of court or what. But he
Sure it did. I mean, there's no standing for that.
Like, it's not his fault she didn't read the instructions, and she just went off of a 60-second clip of him going, "This is delicious." Like,
God, people are so dumb.
This makes my hand hurt.
Right? She didn't work.
Yeah, I've cut off the tip of my ring finger with a mandolin before, and I almost passed out from the amount of blood that was coming just from the tip of my finger. I cannot imagine half of my pinky finger.
I mean, she just like caught it about here and just up.
I've gotten better, but like there's part of me that thinks if I just see enough blood, I want to knock myself out. Just to be like, all right, I can't deal with this. I can't be expected to be responsible for this.
Slowly falling backwards. No more of this, thank you. I'm done now. God. Well, guys, we've officially hit the 1 hour mark. It is time for us to say you, but in English. So, reminder that we have a writing prompt for next week. If you could pick any genre to grow up in, which one would you pick? Write about your morning on the first day of high school. And if you pick the bubonic plague, gods be with you.
Houses were burning down.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try to write something fantasy.
Huh?
I said it depends on what village.
Yeah.
You could also just die.
Yeah. Yeah. You could also just be sitting on the thing, just like, yee!
Instead of going to school today, I jumped off a bridge.
Today they're doing guillotines in the town square. Daddy's proud. Mom is not so happy. We're gonna miss her. That's what you get when you practice witchcraft. And by witchcraft, I mean she washed the dishes. Dear diary.
A little too quickly, though.
Yeah. What do you mean you're already done scrubbing the cast iron? Witch! Oh, we had eggs! Where'd you get those eggs? Witches' eggs! Okay. Yeah. Oh, and this is a friendly reminder. They didn't burn witches. They burned women. You guys have a great week! Bye!
Peace.
Bye.